Are you wondering how to answer the question, tell me about yourself, in a strategic manner that truly helps you stand out? I'm going to share with you a 4-part system to help you answer this question in the most strategic way. If you haven't subscribed yet, look down below, hit that subscribe button, and then hit that bell so that you're notified each time that I release a new video for professionals who are seeking to land jobs and then advance up in their career. My name is Ryan Stoltzfus. I lead a global career development teaching program for a Fortune 500 company, while also working with hundreds of professionals through my organization, the Job Hackers Network. Through my program, the Job Hackers Method, I work with 6-figure professionals to help them totally avoid the recruiting process, to go direct to hiring managers, to build and then deliver an awesome career story so that ultimately jobs are created for them with them in mind, their value proposition in mind. Jobs are created for them predictably and consistently. Before we dive into the 4-part model, let's talk about why this question is even asked. The first reason why this question is asked is because it allows an interviewer the time and space to transition up here, to transition their mind from their heavy workload that they're buried in all day long into this interview space. The interview conversation is very different than the work that typically is being done in the standard day of a professional. The second reason that this question is utilized is because the interviewer is hoping that through your answer, you are going to help focus them, on the components of your story that you want to drive towards. There's just one more thing I need to talk about before we jump into the 4-part process. And it's, what is the interview actually for? What is the purpose, the true purpose of the interview? Okay, if you're going to succeed in an interview, you have got to know what the person there is trying to accomplish. They're trying to figure out 2 or 3 things. Okay, they're trying to figure out, are you a fit? They're trying to assess fit. The next thing that they're trying to figure out, and it's fit for the company and for the role, the next thing that they're trying to figure out is how can they minimize risk? The better they can get to know you, the less risk there is if what they know about you matches to the role, matches to the organization. They are trying to minimize risk. Now, the third thing, if this is a single contributor role, a higher level role, right? Not one where there are multiple of the same title, they're trying to figure out how can they maximize gains. So if they're interviewing you as a CFO, it's not just about you doing the work okay. It's about you bringing something from your background. Can you go out there and bring in acquisitions as an example as a CFO? Okay, some can, way higher gain if that's the life cycle that they're in. Okay, so sometimes they're trying to figure out how can they maximize gains. It is critical for you to know these things before you step into the interview and before you answer this critical question. All right, let's dive into the 4-part process, and I will include a templated response for each of these as we progress through this. The first one is going to be to position, then align, then deliver, then connect. The first one is position, and here you're going to ready the interviewer to assess fit and be on the strategic page with you, to think strategically with you. This is all about partnership. When you can get into an interview and have that individual see you as a partner, that's really getting you very close to them seeing you in the role in the organization. Okay, so position, it's readying them to get them there with you. Let's look at this template and see an example played out. I would love to approach this question in a strategic way because that's how I would approach the job. I also believe that approaching it in this way will help you in analyzing my strong fit for the role. Can you see how that readies them to think strategically, to be thinking about fit? You know, and you're acknowledging that that's what they need to be assessing in this interview. So you're partnering right up with them alongside them in the answer to this. The second component that we're going into, the second step, is to align. And here you're testing what you believe is the value proposition for the role. Okay, so we're going to be telling them this is what I believe it is and asking for some clarification. Let's dive into the template and see what that says. I perceive that for this role, you are seeking somebody who delivers the following value proposition: to engage and retain the local workforce in your 2,000 person location. Before providing my answer, am I on point with my current perception of what you are seeking? Can you see how that would position you to then answer the question, and honestly would position your whole interview to be driving towards the value proposition that they're confirming. Now, they may say, yes, absolutely. To be able to write this value proposition in this way, you have got to have done your research, spoken with other people, maybe networked with people inside the organization. But you have got to know beyond the job description, but the job description is a first layer. What is it that in this role would be ultimately what would be the most valuable delivery that they could receive? If this video so far is resonating with you, then smash that like button down below. And then also, give us a comment, but specifically answering this question. Do you believe that this is the best interview question or the worst interview question? You can type down below best or worst for a comment, and then if you'd like to expand on why you believe that, definitely do so. The third step that you're going to dive into, the third part, is going to be to deliver. You now have got to prove that you can deliver on that value proposition based upon what you've done, what you bring. Let's dive into the template and show you the example. I am a strategic HR business partner with 15 years experience in associate engagement and retention. My strengths in communication and cross-functional team building enabled me to deliver year-over-year improvements in site-wide associate retention and engagement with Microsoft. This saved over $3 million in training and hiring costs per fiscal cycle. That sentence, that paragraph, that has got some punch. You can see there that what you're delivering is a story with a quantifiable result that's directly tied back to, and also strengths that are directly tied back to how you're going to deliver this value proposition that you're putting forward. Okay, you're branding yourself here towards the delivery of a promise, of a value proposition, but you're giving them proof, which is also going to minimize risk, maximize the return, because this is ultimately what they want. The fourth component is connect. In connect, you're connecting back into the role, and you're positioning yourself for the stories that you're going to be continuing to tell that are linking to that value proposition throughout your interview process. This is the connection back into the role. It's the summation as well. Let's dive into the template and see how this plays out into the example. I look forward to diving deeper into the strategic delivery of those results, as well as other aligned results that I believe will help you see my strong fit for the organization and for the role. This is a really powerful way to trigger the mind, to be helping them see fit for the organization and the role by simply laying it out there and saying it, right? You believe it's there. When you believe it's there from all of your research, from what you know about yourself, and right now you're the one who knows like anything about yourself, right? You're the one who knows the most about yourself, but you're saying, I believe there is a fit between my delivery and what you need. And I can help you see that. We're going to bridge that gap. You're preparing them for that to happen, which is exactly what the interview purpose is. To be kind of triggered or cataloged as that one person that stands above everybody else. You've got to be the best fit for the role, the lowest risk with the highest return. This is how you set up your interview to ultimately be controlling the interview in a way that is actually quite subtle. To be controlling the interview, directing the interview, which ultimately, to get in that six-figure role, this is the way you've got to show up with strategy and execution all the time. Now, if you want to assure that your resume is delivering your brand and your value proposition in the way that you intentionally desire, then I have got a professional resume template that I'd like to provide for you for free. Head over to www.jobhackersnetwork.com/resume. There, you'll add in your name and email and you'll receive that professional resume template. And in that template, it's also walking you through the thought process of what you need to be doing as you're writing your career profile and writing your career highlights. It's also in the same strategic positioning line of thought that this message is in. It is so important that throughout your interview process, all of your thought, your direction is towards one aligned goal. so that you are so easy to understand throughout the process. It's important that you grab that resume template so that you can align it to how you're setting up your interview process as well. Head over to www.jobhackersnetwork.com/resume, and there you'll be able to grab that document for free. Be sure to check out this video next that's going to help you to take back immediate control of your job search. If you feel like something has gone astray, this is going to help you get on track. And not just do the job search better, but do it in a whole different way that puts you consistently in the driver's seat and at the table with hiring managers. I will see you in the next one.